So Galarian Darmanitan is like the definition of just a heavy hitter. Like he just does a ton of damage. So partly is because of his extremely high attack stat at 140 and decent speed at 95. He has very low defense, but he has both of his defenses are low, but he has enough health to make it so he doesn't just get shredded. But most of it comes from the fact that his attack stat's so high, plus his ability, which is pretty much a free choice ban with Guerilla Tactics. Plus Zen mode's really good, and Zen mode, I'm glad they did Zen mode the way they did, because the regular I'm gonna butcher his name a lot. Darmanitan Zen mode was trash because it made him completely switch from an attacker, from a physical attacker to a special attacker, and it pretty much flipped his attack. It was like pretty much what they did was flip his attack stats. So he had 140 special attack and then just like 30 attack, which is useless because then it's like, okay, he does nothing for half of the battle one way or the other. And so it was like, that was trash. But the thing about Guerilla Tactics that makes it such a good ability is you can stack it with the choice items. And if you're gonna run Guerilla Tactics, you might as well run a choice item because there's no reason not to, honestly. And this is the first one where it's like, if you're gonna run Guerilla Tactics, you have to run Scarf or Band. Like there's no reason not to, because you're already stuck in a one move. So anyways, he's stuck in the move. This is Flare Blitz. Icicle Crash is pretty much guaranteed because it's a stab. Flare Blitz is great. I'm so glad they gave him Flare Blitz even though he's an ice type. And we're gonna ignore the fact that it'll probably melt him, at least in this stage. But he gets Flare Blitz, which is great. Earthquake is just an amazing move. The last move is a toss-up, but I chose Iron Head just for the fairy coverage. But at the same time, you're very rarely gonna use Iron Head, honestly. Like, there's no reason for you not to use either one of these three, either Icicle Crash for the stab and super effective. Like, whatever's super effective, pretty much one-shots. And you could also run Zen Headbutt, just depending on what you want. I just want the fairy. But, like, whatever he comes in, he's just gonna one-shot. Pretty much. And with the speedy, with the jolly nature and the choice scarf, he outspeeds everything that's not scarfed. Unless something is faster than him and scarfed, he outspeeds everything else. Dragapult, everything. Ninjask might be a problem, but Ninjask can't do anything back, and he one-shots Ninjask. So that's regular. That's just Guerilla Tactics. Zen mode is a different story. This is the wrong Zen. Zen mode's a different story where this is what his stats go in Zen mode. That's why I'm glad they did it the way they did, because this Zen mode is actually useful. I still think Jolly's the best way, just so you don't get outspeed, because with Zen mode you have to be under 50% health. So it kind of sucks if you get outsped by like a Barraskewda or a Dragapult and they just take away. They just do 50%. That kind of sucks. But you could Life Orb. Life Orb isn't the best just because it takes Life Orb's really good if you're just like, screw it, and you're already low on health and you're just like, I'm just gonna one-shot like you're just going out with a bang. Life Orb into especially Icicle Crash or Earthquake will do a lot. Flare Blitz, you'll take yourself out with recoil, that's the only problem. Especially if they have a lot of health. But Life Orb Flare Blitz with the 160 attack is just good damage. If you're already about to faint anyway, just Flare Blitz him. And he gets stabbed now because he's fire now, which is really good. You could also band. I don't recommend the band just because you can get outsped. That's the only reason why. And with his defense being so low, like I think a super effective hit, a majority of the time one shots, depending if it's from a hard hitter. Super effective hit just one shots, especially a stab one. So I wouldn't recommend the band because you can get outsped. But here's some other moves. Ice Punch is pretty much like Icicle Crash, but less damage, but guaranteed with 100th in accuracy. Rock Slide and Stone Edge are good, especially for that last spot instead of either Iron Head or Bulk Up. You could also run Belly Drum here, which is Belly Drum with a berry, with one of these berries would be really good. If they don't have a super hard hitting hit, you can survive the hit, get the 33% from the berry, and be in Zen mode, and then you could Dynamax after that and just shred through them with your speed and damage. So yeah, same with Stone Edge. It's just the chance to miss kind of sucks, but it could be helpful. And then Belly Drum is really good if you can get it, especially if you get it against somebody who's setting up. because you are guaranteed to get it, especially if you can belly drum and they set up or you don't take a hit and then you Dynamax, because then you're almost guaranteed to drop low enough for the berry to activate, and then you get the 33% in Dynamax. It's really good. It's really good Zen mode. Facade, I don't really like Facade with him. I only like Facade if you're gonna get burned, because it cancels out the burn. Hammer Arm and Superpower suffer from the same thing of, if you're stuck in one move, especially Superpower with the Gorilla Tag, both, especially these two with the Gorilla Tactics, where if you're stuck into one move, lowering your attack and defense is not great, and same with lowering your speed. You're built to just be a one-hit KO. Like, it sucks if you lose your stats that you need. U-turn is, I don't really like U-turn on him, especially because it's like, why would you switch him out just to U-turn, which sucks, especially because it's not like one of the ones where you can just like U-turn out and like, or switch moves. Like, you're stuck in whatever move you choose, so I don't know why you would switch or decide to stick in a U-turn. But that's Darmanitan. Like, he just does a ton of damage, and if you get Zen mode, the other thing that kind of is that I really like about him though is because you don't know what you're gonna get. Either you're gonna get the hard hitting, like you could like get one shot by a move from him just with his naturally high attack, and be like, oh, he's probably Gorilla Tactic scarfed, and you switch something again, and he hits you with a different move, and then he survives into Zen mode or something like that, something crazy like that. Like, if you don't expect the berry into Zen mode or something like that, like, he can cause problems. Especially if you think he's scarfed. Especially if you think he's scarfed and you switch into somebody, you're like, oh, he's scarfed, I'm gonna switch into something he is resisted or he can't hurt, and then he belly drums or something into Zen mode, and then you're really in trouble, because max attack with the 160 and the 135 speed is a problem. Like, I love that they gave him fire though, stab. That makes him so much better, because now the flare blitz get stabbed. The only thing though is with Life Orb, I don't really like Life Orb. You'll take yourself out with flare blitz. But the berry I think is best. Berry into Dynamax I think is best for Zen mode. The only problem though with the berry, and the reason why I don't like Citrus Berry here, is because if they do over 20% of your health, really if they do over 17, if you have over 17%, if you're between 17 and 25, you'll go above 50, so you won't get Zen mode or you'll get kicked out, which kind of sucks. But Citrus Berry is under 50%, you get 25, so it's like, those berries, the guava and all the berries that are the 1/4 berries, have a higher chance of like you gaining health back and being under 50, which would be really good, especially Dynamax, because you're almost guaranteed to survive.